I'm just going to pause for a second and take a moment, like everybody here tonight, and let my heart be full of gratitude. You are all here making a difference, and I am forever grateful. This work that we're doing is going to save lives. So it's very fitting that this amazing gala is called Staying Alive, because I believe it's true. The more we talk about the issues that we're having in medicine, the more we share that, the more lives we save. So thank you for being here today. Krista, I don't know where you ran off to. Thank you so much. Things happen in crazy ways, and I'm so glad our lives have crossed. I'm so grateful to be here. Okay, I'm a little, it's not gonna be a big didactic lesson like back in medical school, but I have to have my slides to share to keep me on track. Lessons from the heart. I talk about the heart often. It's quite critical. And if I could sing, or if we could get that music on that those amazing soul dancers were singing, Staying Alive. Who here has ever taken a CPR class and the instructor says, go to the rhythm of staying alive? Okay? So when Krista told me that that was going to be the theme of the event, I'm like, this is perfect, because I'm going to talk about lessons from the heart. All right, here we go. You're going to work. You go out to your car, and this is what you see. Not awesome. Your car is below empty. It's on fumes. You might not even be able to make it to the gas station. What I will tell you is this is what many healthcare providers are living day to day. They're running on fumes. This is what I often say, again, I get a little nerdy at times, the pathophysiology of burnout. We're running on fumes. I'm going to talk briefly about burnout. Krista gave some really great statistics, and just know that half of us in medicine aren't sure how much longer we're going to be there. There's a lot of also moral injury, the horrible trauma that recently went on at Hennepin County, but it's not a fault of character. A lot of times we in medicine blame ourselves. I should be stronger. It is not an us problem. I like to use the World Health Organization definition of burnout. It is a systemic organizational problem, and it causes chronic, unrelenting stress. What does that show up as? What are the symptoms that we in healthcare show up as? Number one, compassion fatigue. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. Number two, emotional exhaustion. Actually, that one's, I don't know how much longer I can do this. Compassion and fatigue is, I don't really care. And thirdly, we often wonder, I'm not even sure if what I do makes a difference. And that, my friends, is not why we went into medicine. If you are a respiratory therapist, a nurse, a physician, a pharmacist, in administration, we went into it because we give a lot. I'm going to try to keep it G here. We care an awful lot. We have very big hearts. And oh, by the way, we have minds that are fit for science. When we are burnt out and crispy, that causes a lot of problems. These are a few of the things that happen. Number one, decreased quality of care. When you're exhausted and thinking, I just want to not kill my patient, but just get the day done and get out of here, imagine that, the quality of care suffers. People are leaving medicine at an extraordinary rate. A statistic that I saw recently, women in medicine and physicianhood, within 6 years, over 35% of people leave medicine or go part-time. We too are human. I will say that time and again. We also have brains, and we're prone to anxiety and depression. I think most of us in medicine are probably a little higher on the anxiety scale. It helps us get stuff done, but it also can lead to issues. I don't know about the rest of you, and I'm so honored because my family is here, including my husband, because normally when I say this, I say, we're in a lovely relationship. Divorce is not the issue, but I could hold it together, my irritability and annoyance during the day, and who got the worst of me at the end of the day? My spouse, my kids. So I say, thank God that worked out. I don't know if I would have been as compassionate. So thank you. I would not have tolerated my nonsense. Also, when you're feeling really stressed, you feel like garbage. You want to come home and feel better. What is an easy way to feel better for many of us, to forget the problems of the day? You pour yourself a glass of wine. you pour yourself another glass of wine. There may have been some eras of my life where I'd be telling my husband, I need a double Manhattan to finish my notes. If that's not a problem in the making, I don't know what is. And so we too are human, and certainly the COVID pandemic amplified this. We suffer, I don't know what the statistics are, but I imagine it's higher than the general population. And the ultimate worst consequence of burnout is suicide. I have a picture of this old school class. It's supposed to represent my medical school classroom. I went to the University of Minnesota. We lose nearly 2 full med school classes a year of physicians to suicide. 300 to 400 physicians take their lives every year. 1 million patients lose their doctor to suicide. And as we heard, nurses are also at very high risk. I'm not as in tune with the statistics. I never wanted to be a statistician, an expert on suicide in medicine. All of that changed on March 5th, 2021, when I lost my baby sister. Dr. Gretchen Butler was an amazing mom of 3. She was a board-certified radiologist, breast fellow who worked at Hennepin County Medical Center. She was extraordinary. She was the top of everything. She won Teacher of the Year, Resident of the Year, all of the things. Everyone wanted her on her team. Alas, oops, I don't know what's happening here. It's getting fuzzy for me. I hope you can still see it. She was an extraordinary human. How did this happen? My sister, again, was an athlete, academic. These are just a few snapshots of this amazing human. And when she died, it turned my family's life upside down. We thought, how could this happen? She was the best of us. And it made me realize, that's when I learned the statistic that we lose so many physicians per year. I'm like, oh my goodness, if this could happen to her, none of us are safe. And so I come to share the words that we are an at-risk profession, whether you're in nursing, whether you're a physician, whether you're a pharmacist, we are an at-risk profession. So we need to do things to take care of ourselves. Yes, the system of medicine is broken and changes need to be made. But meanwhile, I'm going to share with you some things that we can do to take care of ourselves and our colleagues. Because this beautiful young woman was I don't know what. Her brain was really sick. And we in medicine are really good at saying, I'm fine, and not asking for help. We think we shouldn't have to ask for help. But I'll tell you, we too are human. So that is my beautiful younger sister. And then finally, my beautiful family. My mom and dad. My father was a pediatric dentist. My mother was a pediatric nurse practitioner. All of my siblings are in medicine. People say, how did that happen? I said, my parents fostered a love of education. That's it. There was I didn't get the $20 for the A's like my classmates did. They just fostered a love of education. So this picture is from Gretchen's medical school graduation. She went to Creighton University. She was the youngest. When I say the baby, she was 8 years behind my younger sister. So at Creighton University, if you're in medicine, a physician, they say don the gowns and welcome your loved one into the physicianhood. So this is a very, very special picture. And you can't tell in that picture, but Gretchen was like a week away from giving birth to her first child, because this high achiever, of course you have a baby, take a couple months and start your internship. So this is a very, very special picture, but I thought to myself, we are such a loving family. We are smart. Why didn't we know? Here's what I'll tell you. We're all really good at hiding it. So we have to look out for one another. I want you to tune into yourself. How am I really doing? And tune into each other. How are each other really doing, right? So I'm going to share some things that I've been thinking about over the years in sharing this message. Krista, we don't need more pizza and yoga parties, right? Yoga and pizza parties. I love yoga. It's wonderful. Pizza is awesome. That is not the solution to burnout. I've been on a lot of wellness committees over the years. Oh, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should do that. I'm like, stop it. How about we ask the people what they need? How about we let people get sleep? So on and so forth. So I just put that in there because Krista and I, when we first met, we were chatting about that. Okay, anyway. It is okay to ask for help. Number one, we need to stop the stigma. Our brains get sick too. We wear red in the month of October for heart health. Let's start talking about brain health the same way. Mental health is brain health. And part of the reason that we in medicine have a hard time seeking care, number one, there's been a lot of stigmatizing language in our licensing. That's getting better. But also, two, we think, well, I shouldn't need help. I am, a nurse. I shouldn't need to reach out for help. Stop it, everybody. We are all on the struggle bus of life, and we need to normalize help-seeking behavior and getting help. So I'm a huge fan of that, number one. What else? I get into my nerd head. I'm like, what can we do? If it's a patient, we get out that stethoscope and we take a listen to the heart. And so I'm going to share with you a few things that I want you to go and take forth, right? Share the word. The organizations need to change, but we don't need to wait for the system of medicine to improve in order to start feeling better. So that's my big takeaway for you today. Lessons from the heart. Number one, the heart feeds itself first. Who recognizes this? I don't think it's a netter picture, but it should be. It should be. If you're not familiar with coronary anatomy, everyone hears about the aorta spreading blood throughout the body. Before the aorta are the coronary arteries. The heart feeds itself first. The first arteries feed the myocardium. Why? It's not selfish. It's because of what works. We too need to take care of ourselves. The heart is not selfish. The heart feeds itself first. I want you to remember that first and foremost. We are humans. During the pandemic, they're like, everyone's a hero. Oh my God, we're human. We need sleep. We need nourishing food, which we had a beautiful evening here tonight. Thank you for that. We need to move our bodies. We need love and connection. And this sort of thing is actually very protective. Connection with people that we work with and others is very protective. But I think we often forget. Why? Because our medical training smashes it out of us. It's a badge of honor I worked 36 hours. It's ridiculous, my friends. It needs to stop. I love this. Again, nerd shining through. Diastole is vital. If you're not familiar what diastole is, I will explain. The heart squeezes, systole, rest, diastole. That's when the heart fills with blood so it can squeeze again and shoot it out to the rest of the body. Without diastole, you'd be in a world of hurt and you'd be dead within about 5 seconds. But we too need to remember diastole is vital. We need rest. We need sleep. And rest and sleep are actually different. But if it's good enough for the heart, maybe it's good enough for us. There will always be 500 million things to do. Who has, stickies everywhere, right? Or the to-do list. It's never ending. We need to put ourselves on the to-do list. Because no one is going to come and give permission granted, you may go to sleep. People come home from a busy shift and then they start doing all the things at home. You need to take care of yourself. We don't have our moms to come and say, go to bed now. Many people stay up late and do all the crazy things. We need to remember that sleep is vital. Because here's the deal, we are all trained to keep going even when we're exhausted. We heard stories from Krista about nursing and all the things we do. If you're in medicine in any capacity, you see this. I'll never forget the last time I spoke to my sister Gretchen. It was 3 days before she died. She had just come off a horrendous call weekend at a level 1 trauma center. She was a breast fellow radiologist, but on her call weekend, she did all the level 1 trauma, reading scans, hundreds of scans, deciding, does this person go to the OR? Do they not? Are they okay? She was exhausted. So I spoke to her 3 days before she died, and she said, Michelle, I'm so burnt out. I feel so sick. I have a headache. I'm nauseous. I just can't think straight. I said, sweetheart, oh my goodness, you've had like 6 hours of sleep in the last few days. You need to call in tomorrow. You need to call in sick. And this is what she said. I can't. We're short at work. I pause here for a moment because all of us have said the same thing or heard others say the same thing. Yes, we're important to the healthcare team, and we need to take care of ourselves because no one's going to tell you you need to take a break. I love the whole thing of that you were doing the pilot. I didn't even know that. Like, my sister was working over 17 hours straight, getting a few hours of sleep. What in the world was happening, drinking coffee, eating candy to try to keep alert. It's not okay. We too are human. And finally, gotta end with something a little soft, self-compassion and self-love. Many of us high achievers in medicine are very self-critical. We think that's what got us to where we are. But what I will tell you is that we have such compassion for others. You all take brilliant care of your patients. Last week I was on a call and I heard this line. Let's see if I can remember it. Compassion without self-compassion is incomplete. We need to be kind to ourselves. And if you think, oh, it's too soft to say, oh, great job, Michelle, you're amazing, I love you, participation ribbon garbage. Treat yourself as kind as you would a stranger. Think about that. How do you treat a stranger on the street? Often with more compassion. What happens when you make a mistake? That is a very risky time for us in medicine. And it happens. Why? Because we're human, we're sleep deprived. There's lots of different things going on. Things happen. We need to learn to have compassion for ourselves. Otherwise, that really increases our risk. Finally, I say this to my daughters, and I'll say it to all of you. If you wouldn't say it to a friend, don't say it to yourself, right? If we had thought bubbles, imagine that, thought bubbles. I mean, might be interesting, but maybe not. I digress. But it's not soft to take care of yourself. And in fact, a lot of studies by Kristen Neff, PhD, who does a lot of work on self-compassion, the more we can be kind to ourselves, the more we can advance and do things in the world. I think a lot of times people think it's going to hold us back. In fact, it advances you further. You can do more. So yes, the medical system is broken and there need to be changes. But meanwhile, all of you here, whether you're in healthcare, whether you're a loved one of healthcare, whether you're just an amazing supporter, I'm so grateful that you're here. All of the things that you do can be that ripple effect. When I say, oh my goodness, I made a mistake, oof, oofta, right? Oofta, I made a mistake, ooh, how can we correct this? People who I'm working with see that. I don't have to berate myself, right? When I say, you know what, I would love to help out, alas, I can't pick up that extra call shift because I've already worked too much this week, I have to get some sleep. We can be the change that we need to see. And I've seen it time and again. As a coach, I work with physicians and I start to see the ripple effect. And that is how we make a big difference because my friends, it is time to heal the healer. And all of you here today have signed up to be a part of this team. This is Gretty, a few months before she died with her little one, showing us that life is to be fully loved and lived, and also that we can have challenges. And so thank you for being here, for being a part of it, for investing your time and your money for the auction this evening, because all of the work that We Care is doing is going to help keep people staying alive. Thank you so much, everybody.